I was a good girl. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to be honorable. I wanted to follow God's plan.
Hey there, welcome to the podcast, What the 50 podcast. I am here with my friend, Jen Delzer. Hey girl.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm great.
Thank you for being on the podcast today.
Absolutely.
So, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about?
You tell me.
Okay.
Ask away.
So, as you guys know, women of a certain age, this tribe that we're in, you're how old?
52.
52. She does not look it. Anyway, first of all, you may be wondering why we're wearing matching shirts. What does this say, Jen?
Shield Maiden.
Shield Maiden. We're going to go into that in a minute, but we wore our matching shirts today for the podcast for a reason. But I just want to, how long have I known you? 28 years. 28, yeah, something like that. It's been crazy.
Way too long.
Yeah. And then we reconnected after so many years of really not even
communicating.
No, because I didn't know you were on Facebook.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I wasn't for a long time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So we reconnected and then we've gotten to know each other really, really well.
Very much. We kind of just picked up where we left off when it was like one of those friendships where just like.
Yeah, we totally did.
Yeah.
We totally did. So this might get inappropriate, but we hope not.
But you'll love it because we're amazing.
Clink. All right. So welcome. We're going to talk about lots of things today. Jen, tell us just a little, like the 2-minute short version. Who are you? Where are you from? Where are you right now at this point in your life?
Okay, I am here in Florida after living in Alaska for 27 years. Just been in Florida for
a couple months.
No, 3.5 weeks.
Oh, that's it.
3.5 weeks.
Yeah, not long.
And
everyone's moving to Florida.
Yeah, by the way. Right. So I'm going with the trend.
Yeah.
Yep. My realtor. Yeah. So
okay.
That's divorced after 30 years. And
two boys.
I have a 22-year-old and a 26-year-old. I have a beautiful 1-year-old grandson.
Yeah.
And
what's your grandma name?
Gigi.
Oh, me too. Yes. We're both Gigi's.
So,
okay, so 2 sons, grown sons,
yep.
1 grandbaby, divorced after 30-something years. So
MBA.
Oh yeah, she has an MBA.
Yep, there you go. Working remotely, like a lot of people are these days.
Yeah. For sure. So recently you had a lot of life changes. Like you have made some pretty big changes. And the whole goal of this podcast is to bring women on our age-ish and talk about where they were and then some triggering life event that brought them to this new place. Now, you don't have to give a lot of details, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But
details are fun. They make it juicy.
They can be, yeah. But then it's out there and you're like, ah. So what happened? Like, tell us like what your marriage was like, what your life was like, and then what happened and where you are now and where you are going.
Okay. Married to a doctor, got married at 21.
Yep.
During college and through his education, I'll get real detailed, did the whole Christian, the first intimacy was him.
Mm-hmm. You were a good girl.
I was a good girl. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to be honorable. I wanted to follow God's plan. Had 2 pregnancies, 2 babies. We were military and went to Alaska with the military and raised those babies. I honored my husband's wishes, and which were
stay at home,
homeschool. Right?
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, his mom really kind of introduced that to me. Although that was a big thing in Alaska too, and I was like, okay.
It's a big thing for a lot of people. I mean, it's very in.
Right at that time, though, that was really the first I had heard of it.
You're right.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I can't screw them up any more than the public school system. I did get my master's degree at the time. So a little, he traveled a lot being a doctor, getting his continuing education, things like that. I don't know the details because I was really single-minded with my marriage, my kids.
Yeah.
But I did get some random STDs that he told me I got from water parks and things that we would take the kids to. And since we didn't have internet at the time, I believed him, even though the doctors told me no.
Yeah, no chance. You can't get it from a water
But
park.
if you Google that now,
Right. You
Can't
know,
do
I
that.
think the point is that you really were submissive to him
I
and
was.
dutiful, and you were doing what you thought you were supposed to do. You honor him, you believe him.
I did. And he was a doctor. And I was like,
Right.
he'd look me straight in the eye and tell me, no.
Right.
And long story short, yeah, there were a lot of issues that I think that I just ignored because I didn't want to face them. Hindsight's 2020.
Well, it's so hard when you're in the thick of it. It's super hard to say, oh, yeah, I recognize that's a huge red flag.
Right.
Because what were you going to do, Jen?
Right. No.
Were you
I
going
had
to leave him?
No, I didn't want to. And I loved him. I loved
Right.
him.
Right.
Loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember we were at that
Yeah.
Bible study.
Yeah.
We were
Remember that comment? Yeah, tell them.
we were okay. So Cindy and I were both military wives,
Yes.
and we went to this one particular time. We were going to a Bible study together for
Yeah.
a length of time, and we were having this one discussion, and it was about heaven. And when you go to heaven, and you die, you go to heaven. And it was all about heaven, and that when you go to heaven, are you still married?
Yeah, there's no marriage in heaven.
And there's
So-
no marriage in heaven. And I think I just started to cry.
Yeah, you were very upset. But that was not the first time you'd heard that.
Right. No, but it really hit me that day. And I just remember crying, and because the thought of not being married to him was like heart-wrenching to
Right.
me.
And I had presented my experience with this whole marriage after death, marriage into eternity. I grew up Mormon. And so in that theology, they believe that if you're good enough on this earth, that you will be married to your spouse forever and ever, for all eternity. And at that point, when I met you, I thought that was complete garbage. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then to hear you say, oh, I just want to be married to Damien forever and ever. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
And then they were saying no, and I was just crying.
Yeah,
I
it's
loved
upsetting for
him
you.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
So that was I was
You
hook,
were-
line, and sinker.
Yeah, you were super in love, but there were numerous red flags along the way,
Right.
continually. Would you
Continually,
agree?
yes, continually. But blinders. All that to say is I'm divorced now.
Right.
And it was a very painful, it ended up in a very painful process. But I'm out of it now.
Well, like many women our age,
Right.
You really can't get to be 50 something and not have experienced trauma, betrayal, pain, or divorce. Not
It
everyone's
was
divorced.
ugly. Ladies, I just want to encourage you that if you are questioning,
Mm.
I don't want you to be like, oh, all men are scum, because they aren't. I still want to find a great,
Yeah.
I know there's a great love out there for me.
So let's talk about where you are now. So you went through the super hard divorce, and I got to tell you, you literally moved by yourself across the damn country. You did the damn thing on your own.
Did the damn thing on my own.
Yeah. And you bought a place in Florida, and now you are happily owning who you are, and you've started kind of a whole new life. What do you think's changed most for you?
My identity and how I view myself, how I internalize who I am, why I've gotten here,
Because you had to
and
do
where
a lot
I'm
of-
going.
You had to do a lot of deconstructing, right?
Completely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because the message in my head was one of failure, was one of hate, was one of that I'm ugly, that just sad and just unfortunate, anything unfortunate you could think of is was going through my head, and of just sadness. And that had to end.
So how have you managed to rewrite your narrative? Like how have you done that, or how are you doing that?
Well,
yeah, tell us about Shield Maiden.
Well, I just came out of this as of Friday.
Dude.
I
I went to Shield Maiden 2 years ago. We'll tell you a little bit about that, but she just went.
I just did it. And how 1 week can totally change your complete perspective. It sounds completely insane.
Yeah.
But it does, and it can, if you are ready. You have to be ready, willing, desiring change, and knowing that there's something better. Knowing that there's more for you. You don't even need to know what you need, but knowing that you need something, whether it's physical, personal, spiritual, financial, or all of them. And that knowing that, hey, there's more out there for me. There's more that I wanted my life, and I need help getting it. And I want to get it now, not tomorrow, not in a week, not in a month, not in a year, but I want it now, because tomorrow it may not be there for me, and I'm ready to go get it now. And if I don't do it now, I'm going to wuss out. And that's where I was at. If I don't do this now.
So you knew you were at a place where you're like, something needs to change. You needed, and maybe you didn't even know exactly what you needed.
I didn't.
Right?
I didn't. I got there. I did not know. I thought I had dealt with a lot, because I'd been through a lot of therapy.
And you really had.
I had.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize how angry I still was.
Yeah.
I really thought I was doing good.
How were you? Because you didn't know you were angry. How did you realize you were angry?
Well, in immersion, it's a lot of physicality, and you have to be ready. And a lot of people weren't. There are very few that were actually ready for the physicality.
That's challenging.
It's very challenging.
Yeah.
I think it was words that were said to me and how I responded, and what the triggers that it brought out in me. It was like almost flashbacks.
Let's just set the stage. Immersion, Shield Maiden Immersion, is a week-long event for women. They also have a men's program. Titan. Yeah. So this one is called Shield Maiden, for women specifically, where a group of women get together. They don't know each other, but they go through these evolutions and a process for an entire week that includes a lot of physical hard work. We're talking running in and out of the ocean, rolling in the sand, planks, burpees, runs, sandbags. And it's very, very intense. So the whole thing, they kind of break you down and then they build you back up. But the whole point of breaking you down is to get you to a point where you see your current reality.
You kind of face your inner self. I don't want to say face your demons, but in the midst of all of this, you are facing everything you have. You're going with every ounce of strength that you have to give, and then some. Mm-hmm. And when you have hit your limit, then you're helping your sisters next to you to push beyond theirs. So you're not just dealing with you, you're having to help someone next to you.
Right.
And you do it as a team and as a unit. And it's not just, okay, I got to do this. You got to do it together.
How are you empowering yourself to move forward now into this new life that you've created?
I literally, I know this is going to sound crazy. I feel like a new creature. I wake up feeling like I have a total new lease on life, where prior to going to this, I felt like, this is crazy. I'm 52. What am I going to do with life? Most of my life was wasted.
And I mean, it wasn't wasted. You know that.
No, because I raised my kids, but I didn't, because of how, my ex-husband did the work. I wasn't able to cultivate a real career with my degree because I focused in on the family, which I didn't regret at the time,
No.
but I didn't foresee being divorced.
That's right.
Nobody plans on divorce.
When you were a little girl, most of us imagined ourselves getting married one day. We fantasized about it, right? Oh, we walk up to the altar and there's our Prince Charming and he's tall, dark, and handsome and he's so in love with us. We never once fantasized about getting divorced. Oh, gee, I can't wait to get divorced. That's going to be so awesome. Never. Okay, so divorce was never in any of our plans, right?
Right.
When it hits you, like so many of you listening, it hits you. Like you didn't plan on this, you didn't ask for it, but here you are.
Right.
And
nobody has that. And then this is what you do when you're in your 50s and you're divorced. Now here's stage 2.
Right.
There's no
template for that.
Exactly. Every little girl has that plan, but no one says, and for the little girl in her stage 2 life, here you go.
Yeah. Because
get excited about this.
Yeah. Who wants this? You did the thing, you had the family, you raised the babies, you suffered, you sacrificed, you martyred the hell out of everything, right?
Right.
And here you are now.
Exactly.
Like, what was that all about?
Exactly. And now your kids look at you and say, well, we love you, but you could have done this better.
Yeah,
Mom.
yeah. No, I know that. I received that.
We love you, but you could have done this better. It's like, well,
Mom, it really wasn't that bad. You could have been nicer to Dad. I mean, we're making light of it now, but truly, divorce has been a very painful ordeal for both of us. But I mean, here you are now, you're emerging on the other side. Do you feel like you kind of just went through a portal and you're coming out and you're like, oh my gosh, like this whole new world?
Absolutely. And actually, I mean, true to the word immersion, I feel like I've emerged, it's like I've come through.
Yeah.
That's what immersion
you're
is.
Baptized.
I've come through and I actually feel like I have a chance.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I'm excited now. I'm not like, oh, woe is me. Will I ever find someone to love me? No, I'm like, who gets to love me?
That's right. That's a totally
who gets to love me?
Yeah. So would you say your perspective has shifted? Like now it's not about finding the right guy. It's about finding Jen.
It is. Yeah. No, I don't even care to look right now. When I feel good about myself and when I'm empowered and when I'm doing the best that I can for me, that's when all that will come my way.
Absolutely.
So, I'm excited about life. I think that there's just so much out there to be had which is crazy because even when you look at what's going on in the world right now, it's a little scary.
It is.
But I can't, if I looked at that and said, oh, I need to be sad.
Right.
But I mean, I need to be cautious. I need to be wise, but I still need to be optimistic because there is a greater power.
Yeah, that's so true. And fun fact, even though the world seems to be falling apart, you can still be a happy person. You can still have joy.
And it's choice.
It is. Totally.
You can find joy and you can find purpose based on your choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a law and that's life. And that's no matter what the times are.
Yeah.
Because you can be in the best of times and you're still going to find people that are going to be Eeyores.
Be what?
Eeyores.
Oh, Eeyores. Yeah.
Woe
is me. Yeah.
I think I'm just in a stage of development, just newness of life.
And you're probably open to whatever the world has to offer you. Right?
Completely.
You're open.
I mean, whatever, and I get to choose what comes my way.
Yeah, that's powerful, actually.
It is. I'm in a place to receive.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
I'm in a place
to receive abundance.
Right. So I get to receive and I get to choose. And I'm receiving a lot. And I'm excited.
And like, what would you say to women out there? We're going to wrap it up. But what would you say to women who, I tell women, I am not pro-divorce. Like, I'm not saying get a divorce. You deserve to be happy. Not at all. I'm actually pro-marriage.
Well, I want to be married again. Right. I'm looking to be married again.
Right. But that's not your number one priority.
No, but
right.
but that is a heart desire
Yeah.
of mine because I think I'm better as
In a
joined
relationship.
than
Yeah.
alone. I'm overall happier, although it is kind of nice to have one left.
Right. I mean, there is something to be said for independence.
Yes.
But
to feel empowered alone, to know who I am. I think knowing who I am alone will make me even better joined.
absolutely. Because the most powerful couples are the ones who you come in whole,
Yes.
I come in whole,
Yeah.
and then we can integrate, we can become one, but you have to be whole.
I don't think I've ever felt this whole alone in my entire life.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. Like many women our age, you're figuring it out as you go.
Well, I don't think you ever stop. You should never stop figuring it out. Life is just one big journey, and you should always be figuring. You should always be learning. Learning is fantastic.
Yeah.
You should never stop.
Would you say in your marriage you stopped? Like
We stopped connecting. Definitely.
You stopped growing as a person?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me, what do you want? I was like, I have no idea. I had no idea what I wanted, who I was. I was all about doing for my kids and doing for him, but mostly doing for my kids.
Because all of your decision making was informed by him and his ideology and his desires.
Correct. And it was all about the family. And it happens to the best of us.
Right.
We all get lost in the midst of it. He went to work, and then when he had any time, he did what he wanted. And if we were to do anything to be with him, we needed to do what he wanted. And then everything else was about the kids. And
so what happened to Jen? Where was Jen?
No.
You didn't know what you wanted. You didn't know who you were.
Nope.
And I think it happens to so many of us.
It does.
Really
It
does.
absolutely does.
And so finding that again and giving yourself a voice and allowing yourself to have a voice, like, no, actually, here's what I want.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say that. So I hope that this helped someone today. There's probably a lot of women who are kind of going through the same thing. We're all at different stages. And I think that the more we connect, the more we talk about it, the more we share our stories, the more we can be real and authentic about what we've been through and who we are and what we look forward to, the more other people have permission to be the same way.
And it's so important to give yourself that permission to be you. And it's so hard when you don't know who you are. Finding yourself again is one of the hardest things I ever did. I mean, because who you were when you were 20, when you got married, to who you are when you're 50 or 45 or wherever, you're a total different person. Because even though you maybe feel the same inside, you've evolved, you've grown, you've gone through different life experiences, education or whatever, and you are a new person.
Yeah.
And you've loved, you've lived, you've maybe given birth or you've lost, and all of those experiences make you someone new.
Right.
And now you've got to give yourself permission to acknowledge that. And who are you now?
Love it. Who are you now? That's a great question. Who are you now? Who do you want to be? How do you become that? All right. Yay, thank you. My friend Jen. Thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next time. We'll see you whenever that is. Okay, bye.